This is Ade, and welcome to 360 Degree Consciousness. Here, we talk about striking the right balance between our personal lives and our professional lives to gain lifetime happiness and fulfillment. When I was in Coca-Cola, it was International Women's Day, and some of us from our Coca-Cola Hellenic Bottling Company were selected to go into Coca-Cola Ikoyi, our sister company, for a small event to celebrate International Women's Day. I cannot remember the name of the speaker, but I cannot forget her eloquence, her strength, her poise, her confidence. This captivated me from the moment she opened her mouth till she finished her presentation. She talked about non-negotiables, non-negotiable values, non-negotiable principles, non-negotiable standards, how we can live our authentic self, being true to ourselves, if we have this defined. Before then, I operated within some values which I believe were impressed on me as a child. For example, hard work, discipline, candor, honesty. I didn't have to define them. I just lived these values. But this time, I consciously, intentionally, deliberately went back to defining my non-negotiables. I read about a happiness expert, Gretchen Rubin, who, after a research, concluded that one way to ensure that we feel happy and fulfilled in our lives is to define and enforce our non-negotiables. She went on to say that establishing non-negotiables is a powerful tool for accomplishing our dreams in life. And because I am always on a journey, a journey to discovering what my best version looks like, I recently revisited these non-negotiables. And I asked myself, Adebola, what drives you? What principles, what values, what beliefs, what standards define your decisions and actions? And I have taken a lot in my lifetime. But right now, I got curious to know those things that influences basically these decisions and actions. And in my head, I drew a big, thick circle. In this circle, I put things that are most important to me in life: family, health, my spirituality, my values. And in that circle, I realized that I can find peace of mind, I can find happiness, I can find myself in that circle, because I believe this circle is sacred. And when I am making decisions, I am asking, how will this impact my peace of mind? How will this impact these things that are most important to me? Will this decision unsettle me? Would it impact any elements in this, my thick circle, negatively? These are questions that I keep asking myself. And because the circle is thick, these elements in there have to be protected. Peace of mind being number one. So I see this as my non-negotiables. I am picturing this in my mind and I am thinking, this big circle, this ring becomes my unwavering pillars, or the elements within this ring becomes my unwavering pillars that shape my actions, and they determine the boundaries that I set for myself. I also understand that just as we have non-negotiables, we also have negotiables. I call this the light circles, which can be pushed inward or outward depending on the situation. But they are still important. They're still very much important. They are standards you might compromise on for the sake of relationship, for the sake of other people's happiness. It doesn't take a lot from you to compromise on these elements. And, I was asking myself, what is that one negotiable that you do not mind compromising on? And I thought, that would be my sleep schedule. I know my brother will hear this and think, hey, this sleep, sleep, sleep. For some weeks now, I've been crazy about my sleep because I experienced lack of sleep for a few days and I didn't like what it did to my system. So I became super particular about my sleep and I set up my sleep schedule to be from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And have been sticking to it. Let me say it. Generally, I've been sticking to it. But this for me is a negotiable. If something calls for my attention, if something needs me to work extra 1 hour late, once or twice in a week, I can do it because it wouldn't take anything from me. So, yeah, we have negotiables. But I think the circle around negotiables isn't that thick. And that's why it's easy for us to compromise. But for things that are non negotiables, on these things, we wouldn't compromise. Or I wouldn't compromise. I was talking to my son over the weekend about this, and I told him what hurts the most is living or speaking or accepting to do the opposite of what you really want to do. What you know comes against your belief system or comes against your value system. And then you are basically powerless and you have to do it. That hurts a lot. He told me he wants to join the police force. As the African mother that I am, my heart skipped a bit. And then in the course of our conversation, he told me why he doesn't like injustice in any form. And he witnessed one and felt powerless and thought, you know what, I can fix this. I don't want to be in this situation again and feel powerless. And I tried to explain to him that if you really want to change things, you have to get into the space where the policies are being made. That's how you can change things. As a police officer, you will only enforce the law. You cannot change the law. And then I asked him to imagine himself enforcing a law that he does not believe in. But he would have to do it because that's his job. It was a long conversation, but it moved me also into giving him the gist about why I left Coca-Cola Hellenic Bottling Company, despite having a very, very beautiful career there. The company was moving into premium spirits. And one of my non-negotiables is not to work in any company where I cannot align my purpose with its purpose. Because I believe I wouldn't be able to give my whole self, and I wouldn't feel like I am contributing to something that I find meaningful, and that's me. I remember everyone was worried for me at that time. My friends, my dad, my mom, they all didn't think I should resign. I didn't have another job, so I think their fears at that time was valid. But I told the MD anyways that they have my best wishes, but I would leave as soon as we start that line of business. And I told him the reason. Someone asked me, is this because of religion? I said, no, it is part of it. It is not all of it. Personally, it doesn't align to my values in any way. And looking back now, not sure where the nerves came from, but I'll do it again because this is one with a thick ring around it. I saw a quote credited to an American actress. She's also a model, I think, Cassidy Gifford. And she said, it was reported that she said, my values are non negotiable. And if it means not getting a role, it means not getting a role. I thought, wow. I thought, wow. Okay, now this brings me to what my friend Shegun said to me once. He said, and to be honest, I didn't, when he said it, I didn't think that. And I still don't think that he was trying to undermine my decision in any way. I think he sees me as someone that is bold. I say what I need to say. I do what I have to do. And he just looked at me once and he said, I think it's easy for you to stick to this, your non-negotiables, because you have options. And in his words, he said, you are not the breadwinner. I thought, wow, 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 wow. He said for him, he would think about his family, he would think about their needs before making any decision that can impact them. I get his point, even though I still think it was to make himself feel better. And I wasn't sure how to prove to him at that time that that's not the case. I still don't know how to prove it to anyone. But I'll tell you what makes it somewhat easier for me. And that would be my advice. If you have some values you never want to compromise on, you have to always be 5 steps ahead. And I learned this from Alex Goma, the former MD of PZ Cousins. He attended one of our programs and he shared this lovely insight. And that's what I would share today. You have to be 5 steps ahead. You have to plan ahead because they definitely will be a time when those values will be tested. There will be a time when you will be caught in between sticking to your values or compromising it a bit. And once you compromise it a bit, it gets easier to keep compromising. I always plan ahead most of the time. I would always have savings for the next 6 months. So even if any job stops right now, 6 months savings would be there for me to fall back on. I would always invest in myself. I cannot say this enough. And the reason I do this is to continue to up my own value such that at every point in time, I can always bring value to the table and I can always trust that that can be exchanged for some financial benefits. I would always ensure that I stay connected with the people who wouldn't ask me to compromise on my values, who would appreciate my candor and who are aligned to my values. People that appreciate it and people that respect it and wouldn't ask me to push, a little bit outside my zone. And I think the last one is I would always ensure that I don't take myself too seriously. I think the way Alex Goma put it then was that he is not so proud to start again. And I think I must have said this also to so many people. I am not too proud to start again. I am not too proud to start all over. When you take yourself too seriously and you think, you know what, I am super duper, and then you care about what people say, it might force you to want to shift ground on your non-negotiables. So if you don't take yourself too seriously to say, you know what, I'll do what I have to do to protect my peace of mind, to protect these things that are so important to me. And then if it comes with some consequences, I will take those consequences. And if it means starting all over, I will start all over. So, like I said, I get the point of my friend, but I think for us to be able to protect that thick circle, we all also have to put some safety nets in place. And you say people like Nelson Mandela, I stay inspired by people like him who dedicated his life to fighting against apartheid in South Africa. And this continues to exemplify his non-negotiable values such as justice, equality, and peace. I continue to stay inspired by people like Professor Wole Soyinka, who, through his works, consistently spoke out against corruption and injustice, exemplifying his non negotiable values of integrity and truth. And the question which I ask myself first, is what do I want to be known for? How do I continue to protect this thick circle of my non-negotiables? What do you want to be known for? How do you continue to ensure that you protect, you first draw that circle, and then you continue to protect the elements within that thick circle of your non-negotiables? I hope this episode has connected with you in a way. If yes, please feel free to share your thoughts with me in the comments, or you can do me an email. If you check the caption, you will also find my email address. I look forward to reading from you. And until next time, when I come your way again, I remain a day.